Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Car Lot Confessions. I am your host, Frank Fanzoni, and it is another wonderful Tuesday, October the 1st. And I am so happy to be here tonight, and I hope you guys are too. It is going to be a great evening tonight. We have a lot of content to cover, a great article, a lot of fun stuff that we always do. So hopefully you guys have been looking forward to it, because I know that I have been. Car Lot Confessions is my passion. It's what I enjoy to do, and I am happy to be here. So let's get a couple of housekeeping things taken care of right away. Standard security shirt tonight, but if you guys have something you'd like to see on a live taping of Car Lot Confessions, please make sure to let me know. Feel free to send me a private message, and I'd be more than happy to connect with you, see what we can do about getting a t-shirt of yours on a live episode of Car Lot Confessions. So, hey, John, welcome to the show. Thanks for being here. So there's that. Let's see. What else do we got going on? Let's see. It's going to be a great show. Oh, if you guys could do me a huge favor, like, share, and follow the page, that'd be greatly appreciated. That would be super fantastic. Just jotting down some notes here that I want to cover that just popped into my head. All right, guys. Super excited to be here. Hopefully you guys are too. Welcome to another live episode. It is Car Lot Confessions. Let's get into it. Let's wait for a couple people to jump on. Hi, Diane. Thank you for being here. It's going to be a great show. Hopefully you guys got a chance to read the article. We will be getting into that real soon. But before we get started, if you guys can give me a like, which is a thumbs up on the page, and share this video right now with your friends. Let them know that you're watching the episode as it's live right now. See if we can get a few more people to jump on. I greatly appreciate that. Smash that share button real quick. Tell everybody Car Lot Confessions is a great show to watch on Tuesdays, and that's where you're hanging out at right now. So thank you so much, guys. If you could do that for me, I greatly appreciate it. Thanks so much. All right, so we covered the T-shirt. Guys, I'm still thinking about getting some decals made, so if you guys would like decals, please send me a message and let me know. And if that's the case, you might even get one in the mail if when those decals get made. If you send me a message that you're interested in having one, I'll definitely make sure to get one out to you. Those decals would be made for your car, so you could put that on the back of your car, and people can see that you are a Car Lot Confessions fan and part of the community. So, guys, make sure you send me a message for that. As always, I always like to say, oh, no. Man, I'm having a few technical difficulties tonight, guys. I apologize. But that's okay. That's not Car Lot Confessions without it. So let's get right into the show, if you guys would like. Fix a couple of things here. I apologize, guys. I apologize. This is what happens when you do live TV. It happens sometimes. I got to get my sound effects set up. I don't know where they went. While we're at it, though, if you guys could hit that share and like button for me, that'd be greatly appreciated. John says, decal me up. Thank you so much, sir. I would absolutely decal you up because it is. They will be really sweet. I've been designing them myself. If there's anybody out there who's a graphic designer who's interested in helping me get those decals made up, please send me a message as well. I would love to get your help on it. I can't say that I'm the best graphic designer that's out there right now, but I do try my best, and I promise you a good quality product when it does get to you, so don't worry about that. All righty. Well, unfortunately, it seems like my sound effects don't really want to work tonight.
That was easy.
Actually, it's not that easy. So we will just kind of roll with it. We might get some weird sound effects we're not used to. All right. So thanks so much, guys, for being here. I'm so glad you guys are on. Thank you so much. Let's get right into the show. We've been delaying too long already. So welcome to the show, guys. Let's get into the poll question from last week. It was a great poll. I think everybody could relate to it. Of course, it related with food. What was the last meal if you had to choose between tacos and pizza? What would your last meal be? 15 votes came in, guys, and we had a total 53% chose pizza, 47% chose tacos, and to be honest with you, I'm a taco guy. I'm a little disappointed that the tacos didn't win out, but clearly there's a higher demand for pizza, I guess. John says pizza. So, all right, so there's that, which is always a good thing. So pizza was the big winner. I guess the next question might be, what do you like on your pizza? I guess. Does pineapple, should we do the poll question sometime? Does pineapple belong on pizza? Some people would say yes. I am one of those people, and I hope I don't lose viewers because of it, because I know there's a lot of people out there who feel very strongly that pineapple does not belong on pizza, and I am a firm believer that it does. But if you agree with that, let me know. If not, if you think that's total blasphemy, please feel free to let us know. So yeah, so there's that. Yep, sound effects are giving me an issue tonight, guys. I apologize. All right, so the poll question for tonight, I just posted just a little bit ago, though, so hopefully you guys will see that. I was up late the other night, and we had I saw that the Tonight Show came on, and I'm a big Tonight Show fan with Jimmy Fallon. But the fact that I found about today in history actually kind of put this on. The Tonight Show starring Johnny Carson actually debuted in 1962, and he was the host through 1992 of the show. I'm a big fan of the Tonight Show, always have been, especially with Jimmy Fallon. I'm a big fan of Jimmy's. But there's always been that war. Remember Jay and Jay Leno and why can't I think of his name right now? White bearded guy now. David Letterman. My goodness, you guys got to help me out here, chat. I'm having a brain freeze night. Maybe I need a sip of my delicious drink here. Just been one of those nights already, but that's okay. David Letterman. Thank you, John, for chiming in on that. Yes, David Letterman. But I've always been a big fan of those. You guys remember the late night show wars. So I was just thinking, that would be a good topic, good poll question for the night, since back in 1962, it did debut on this day with Johnny Carson. What did you guys think? Do you guys think Tonight Show or the Late Show? Which one you prefer, Stephen Colbert or Jimmy Fallon, I guess? I know this is kind of a big deal. I know we've had quite a few conversations about this in my job, at my day job, and with people that I work with. About who you prefer to see. So let me know what you guys think about that, because that's I'm curious to see, which is why I did the poll question tonight. So let me know what you guys think about that. Hopefully we can get a few more people to jump on tonight, so that way we can get you guys weighing in. But guys, remember, I'm not listening for crickets in the chat. I'd love to hear you guys in there. So no crickets tonight, guys, okay? All right, so as always, I hope my sound effects are working for you. All righty, we're gonna keep moving on with the show, even though it's kind of a cluster tonight. We're gonna get into the next segment that I love the most. This is one of my favorite segments. Of course, it is Grinds My Gears. One of my new favorite segments on the show. Hopefully, you guys like it too. It is a good one. And always, I want you guys weighing in on the chat as well. So if you guys, as I'm grinding gears here, if you guys have comments about Grinds My Gears or anything that I'm saying, please feel free to put it in there. But let's get on with the segment of Grinds My Gears. This week's topic in Grinds My Gears is hospitals that look at the elderly like they ain't worth saving. I know that many could have an experience with this, and I'd love to hear you weigh in. So this is Grinds My Gears, guys. So recently, my grandmother, my wife's grandmother, bless her heart, has gone to the hospital and has spent a couple of nights in the hospital. She's doing okay. She's getting better, just to put that out there. But while she was there for quite some time, she spent a couple of nights there. At first, they weren't really giving her the care that, of course, we all felt she needed or deserved. They wouldn't be coming to her room. They wouldn't give her water. She was dehydrated a lot. They just kind of shoved her in a room and left her there. And mind you, she's 95 years old. So, of course, this isn't the first time I've heard this or seen it or experienced it or had somebody tell me a story about it. And I understand there might be a shortage in workers at the hospital or staff that night. Somebody called in, whatever the case may be. But this went on for a couple of days until we actually had to make a real stink with some of the supervisors there about it, until she started to receive proper care. Has any of you guys ever experienced anything like this? Because it has happened, and it is happening currently right now. And boy, does it ever grind my gears that we should always be looking at the elderly as an asset and as some people to be taken care of. Just because they're older doesn't mean they don't deserve the same care as you and me, as anybody else. It doesn't make them less important because they're older. It actually makes them more important. They've spent their entire lives caring for others, more than likely, caring for their families, caring for their loved ones, caring for others. They spent their entire lives working and taking care of themselves and other people. And yet when they get to that age and they're in need of help, we're not there to help them, or others aren't there to help them, even though it's your profession. That is unacceptable. That grinds my gears. Unbelievably. Have you guys ever experienced anything like that, though? Right now, like I said, my grandmother, my wife's grandmother, is in the hospital right now. Bless her heart, one of the sweetest ladies in the whole world, 95 years old. Spent a couple of nights in there, and unfortunately, we got the impression and feeling that because she was old, they just kind of put her in a room and didn't pay any attention to her because she's too old to take care of. That's not okay, and that's something that I think definitely needs to be addressed and thought about. As healthcare workers are out there, I'm not saying all healthcare workers are like this, but I have seen that this can be the case from time to time and from place to place. We, as younger family, younger adults, younger people, as more capable people, need to be aware that we need to take care of the elderly and make sure that we're doing our part because they've already done theirs. It's our responsibility to take care of those who are unable to take care of themselves or are needing help. Especially here at Car Lot Confessions and the Car Lot Confessions community, we strongly believe in that here, that taking care of others is important. So what I witnessed and heard and have seen in my time in regards to these hospitals and taking care of the elderly or not taking care of the elderly, that is what grinds my gears this week. Let me know what you guys think. If you guys ever experienced anything like that as well. If anybody's had any elderly in the hospital, I'm sure you've experienced it or seen it. But it does happen, and it is something that shouldn't be happening. We should be first taking care of our elders and the people that are unable to take care of themselves. So that's my grinds my gears this week. My grandmother is getting better. She is has now been out of the hospital. She's in a rehab facility now, getting better at 95, still kicking and doing great. And God bless her and her. We love her, and we all wish her a happy and speedy recovery. So thank you guys so much for listening to Grinds My Gears, one of my new favorite segments. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it as well. Feel free to weigh in if you guys have any information or if it's something that grinds your gears as well. Go ahead and feel free to put it in the chat. I'm happy to read it out loud, make sure everybody gets involved. Come be part of the show. If you guys have any topics that you'd like to have on Grinds My Gears or something that grinds your gears that you think we should be talking about here on Car Lot Confessions, please feel free to send me a message or post it to the Facebook page or on the site as YouTube as well, and we will be absolutely happy to make sure that we get that on a show for you if that's something you'd like to talk about. So again, Grinds My Gears is just another segment of the show, but it's a show for you, as like Car Lot Confessions is. It's a show that you can be a part of. So please make sure you guys do your due diligence. Come be part of the show. Let me know if you guys have any topics and things like that. So as always, I always say, all right. So we've done the poll question of the night. We'll review last week's poll question, and we have talked about Grinds My Gears this week. Let's go ahead and get into the news topic for tonight. Hello, Julie. Welcome to the show. Katie, welcome to the show. Thank you guys for coming on. This was a news article, and I'm ready for it, but let me know if you guys are too. Again, I don't want to hear crickets in the chat, guys. Make sure you guys start weighing in. I want to hear your opinions. It's very good. I'm going to applaud you all now for weighing in. Thank you so much and being here. And I am grateful for each and every single one of you, so thank you so much. So let's get into the news article for tonight. I posted it yesterday. This one is an interesting one, and I hope everybody here will have some sort of opinion about it. The topic or the title of the article this week: nearly 30,000 children under the age of 10 have been arrested in the U.S. since 2013, according to the FBI. Did you guys read this article? I read this article. I watched the little video clip that was associated with it. This was an article that was on ABC News. in regards to the recent arrest of younger children, the arrest of children. 6-year-olds are getting put into handcuffs. I really want you guys active tonight in the chat about this, because this was something that I was completely mind blown. As you can tell by the title of the show tonight, Aren't the Children Our Future? What are we teaching our children if we're putting them in handcuffs and arresting them? So let's get back to the article here. The article here was about kids and how they've been arrested, and how nearly 30,000 children themselves, 26,966 children under the age of 10 were arrested in the U.S. Since 2013. To me, in that 5-year span, that many children being arrested is absolutely ridiculous. And what is that telling us about how we're raising our children, what we're showing our children, what's the example we're setting, and all of that combined, what kind of future is that presenting for our youth as they grow up? 26,966 children as of the time of this article under the age of 10 were arrested in the United States since 2013. To me, that is absolutely ridiculous. Just also the same time period, if you want to go above that, from ages 10 to 12, which are all very impressionable age. I have children in that age range as well. 228,017 during the same time period of 2013 to 2017. Ages 10 to 12, 228,000 plus children were arrested as well. Arrested, 228,000 between the ages of 10 and 12. And 26,000, almost 27,000 under the age of 10 in the same time period. What are our kids doing that need to be arrested? So I did look into that. So let's get into this article a little bit more in regards to it. A 6-year-old for throwing a temper tantrum and having a condition is what caused the initial arrest of that 6-year-old, right? And the good news is, and I don't know if it was good or not, the officer who arrested the child was fired for not obtaining prior authorization to arrest this child. But what are we sending? First of all, why are our children getting arrested? And two, what's the message that we're sending by doing this? Is this a hard-nosed, hard-knocks kind of mentality that we're having in regards to our children, that we won't put up with anything and neither will society, so we're going to arrest you? But if we're putting kids in the system, isn't it fact or knowledge or possibility that once you're in the system, you're going to continue to be in the system? There isn't necessarily always proof in regards to juvenile facilities and things like that rehabilitation actually works. Are we rehabilitating our children by putting them in juvenile facilities? Now, 34 states in the U.S. have no minimum age limit other than 10 years old for arresting. That's the age limit in which you can arrest children. 34 states in the U.S. have no minimum age limits. The other states have a 10-year-old limit. So 34 out of 50 have no age limit. The rest of them have a 10-year-old limit, from what I've found. And these facts were from the article itself from ABC News. So a 10-year-old was arrested in this same article, if you guys read it. A 10-year-old was arrested for throwing a dodgeball, at another child's face during a dodgeball game. How specific are we getting, and how technical is this getting? And this is following right in the day and age of how we can't offend or upset anyone. What is this world coming to if you're told to play a game of dodgeball, but then a 10-year-old gets arrested for throwing a ball at another opponent? It's a little excessive, don't you think? Let me know what you guys think about that, because I'm just going to go, that's horrible. I mean, come on now. Who arrests somebody for playing a game? Guys, I really want to hear what you have to say in the chat. Please chime in. Seriously, it's to me this is insane, and this is the one that really kind of took the cake for me in regards to it, because it was during a game that the kid was supposed to be playing. Just because he threw it at another child's face, that's dodgeball. If anybody else has played dodgeball, you guys all know that's kind of the concept of the game. You throw the ball at each other. Kids get hit in the face sometimes. It happens. I've been hit in the face with plenty of dodgeballs. Still a fun game. I'm still 100% for it for my kids to be able to play it. In fact, I know my son loves playing it. His team actually won the championship in dodgeball in his grade last year. It's a great game. Nobody got arrested, thankfully. Kids are being handcuffed and fingerprinted when they're getting arrested. The question here is that what are we teaching kids doing that? Again, we're putting them in the system. Does anybody here actually think that kids should be being arrested at 10 and 12 years old? Under 10 years old, 6 years old. I have an 8-year-old daughter. I couldn't imagine what it would be like if she got put in handcuffs and fingerprinted. Kids make mistakes. Kids need to learn from their mistakes, but sorry about that. That was an odd one. I'm telling you guys, these sound effects. Kids being arrested, though, at 6 years old, 8 years old, fingerprinted, getting put in the system. My daughter would be absolutely petrified if she ended up getting arrested by a police officer. We teach our kids that police are good, and we teach them right from wrong. We talk to them about the system. We let them get to know how that works from the get-go. What kind of self-esteem and what kind of feelings are we giving kids if we're putting them in handcuffs and fingerprinting them and putting them in jail cells for making mistakes? Is race a factor? There's a lot of factors here. There's a lot of things to think about. And I want to talk about the flip side here as well, and I want your guys' opinions about this, please. So thank you, Diane. Yes, the whole dodgeball thing is totally stupid. It is a game, and I can't believe that they would even make or think about making an arrest for kids playing a game. It's part of the game. So let's talk about the flip side here, though. In this article, there was some information in regards to some of these kids that have been arrested. So let's talk about that. The flip side, 23 children under the age of 10 that were arrested for rape, that were within this time frame. 23 children under the age of 10 were arrested for rape. Now, rape is a very serious criminal offense. And my assumption is, I mean, I have kids that are in these age range. So my kids know a little bit about what rape is, I think. But how, if a kid in that age range is being arrested for it, has anybody asked what has that kid been subjected to even go down that road? And is arresting that child going to help that child? I don't have answers to these, but these are things that I'm questioning. Hey, Justin, welcome to the show. Thanks for being on. Talking about the news article for tonight, so if you guys saw that on the page, again, we're talking about nearly 30,000 children under the age of 10 have been arrested in the U.S. since 2013, according to the FBI and the ABC News article that we're talking about that's been posted on the page. Don't worry about being late, Justin, just happy that you're here, bud. We're talking about the flip side right now. We've already talked about the beginning of the article and the ages and what we're teaching our kids. We are talking about the flip side right now in regards to it, though. Again, 23 children under the age of 10 were arrested for rape. Let's keep going. 13 of them were arrested for robbery. Again, I don't have more details other than just that right now. For robbery, though, what is it? Stealing of a candy bar? Stealing from $10 out of your parents' wallet? I don't know. 13 for robbery, though. 23 for rape. 52 for arson. While kids playing with matches at the age of 10 or 12, or even at 6 or 8, yeah, well, arson's one thing, but I mean, that can be subjective in regards to playing with fire at all. Kids are curious. I'm not trying to make excuses here, but these are things they were arrested for. And then 362 for larceny and theft, including 9 for vehicle theft. If a 12-year-old steals a car, and 9 of those were reported. If a 12-year-old steals a car, I'm curious to know where that arrest happened at and where that child was from. If we're talking about bad areas, let's just throw out some like Compton, Dayton, places that you know where there's gang activity and things like that. Chicago, Detroit, Atlanta, DC, wherever you want to talk about in these major cities where there are gangs and things like that, and where you get recruited at a young age. Things like this are going to happen, initiations, all that kind of stuff. All these things run through my mind. I want to know what goes through yours, but this is definitely a serious thing. But there is a flip side. So if these types of things happen, and these are the charges in which they're being handcuffed and arrested for: rape, robbery, arson, larceny, vehicle theft. These are very, very important and very, very strong criminal offenses. In this article, I didn't see them ever stop and say, have we figured out why this is happening? What is the story behind these? Arresting a 6-year-old, I don't think is ever going to, and this is my opinion again, I want to make sure that's very clear, my opinion. I don't think that's ever going to help anything. Terrifying children and treating them like they're adults is not acceptable. And that is not going to teach our kids anything. Kids make mistakes. It's part of being a kid and growing up and learning how to be a good adult is by making mistakes as kids. Let me know what you guys think about this, because I think it's definitely something that is important to talk about if this is continuing to happen. That's a lot of arrests in a 5-year period. So what I want to know, and we're going to get right into it in regards to the question of the night for you guys, and I want your guys' opinions about this. So make sure you guys come in and leave your comments in the chat, because I want to hear what you guys have to say, because I'm conflicted a bit on this. But here's the question of the night for you guys. What is your thoughts about this specifically? Is it going too far when a 6-year-old are being handcuffed and terrified and interrogated and fingerprinted? What are your thoughts about this? And again, I put the flip side out there because I want to know what you guys think, because those are some real numbers as well. Robbery, arson, larceny, rape. These are some serious accusations and charges. So I want to know what you guys think. Justin, already weighing in, and I appreciate it. Thank you so much, sir. Theft and drugs is a good call for the arrest in my point of view. I was caught once with theft at a grocery store. Dad told the cops to take... Excuse me, I'm so sorry about that. Excuse me. Cops to take me, never stole again. You were 7. So that is a great, great scenario. Thank you so much for sharing that, Justin. This is exactly along the lines of what we're talking about. And your father was involved. And what they did is they combined to teach a lesson. Parenting and authority all in one. And to me, that's super important, right? And I think that's a great combo. If you have one without the other, that's when things get kind of scary. When you're making arrests without parent permission and without parent guidance and without consulting parents in regards to trying to combine those for a lesson to be learned, this is the problem we're getting into. But yours is a perfect example. Theft and drugs, I think, are absolutely a point to talk about in regards to arrests. Kids get in fights. That happens. Drugs is a big deal and needs to be an eye-opener and a lesson to be learned. Kids steal from stores, like you said. You learned and never stole again because your dad and the cops took it upon themselves together to teach you how wrong that was, and it was a lesson. You don't have a criminal record for it, though, do you? Let us know. John weighs in, gives the younger generation a hard perspective of cops. Probably doesn't give them any appreciation for their protection. Doesn't give them an appreciation for their protection. Probably doesn't. And what I would assume at this point, too, which I think the point John's trying to make here in the chat, is it could give the youth a really bad perspective of cops at a young age, and they can then grow up having that same perception and stay in the system. It could alter their feelings and respect towards authority and cops and service providers and members like that. And if that's the case, that's the wrong views we want to be giving our youth as they grow into adults. So I agree with that. It's a good point, John. Thanks for weighing in on that. Justin follows up with, scared the shit out of you, which is good. It was enough to keep out of trouble till I was late and stupid teenager. Well, again, we still all make mistakes. And the truth is, I should have probably looked up some numbers in regards to teenage arrest. But between you and I, the older you get and the smarter you are, and the more knowledgeable you are about right and wrong, the more liability you have in regards to your own actions. So that I understand and agree with. So that's fine. I made my mistakes as well. I was fortunate that I've never got caught in anything that I was doing, but I learned from that stuff nonetheless. And the persona that's given to police officers already, and the crime and the brutal society, basically the negative social impact that we've been putting on police officers and them doing their jobs, which, mind you, there are bad cops and good cops and all of that kind of stuff. That's a topic for another day. We got to teach our youth that the police are there to help, not to hurt. 6-year-olds are very impressionable. 10-year-olds are impressionable. 12-year-olds are impressionable. We want to make sure we leave good impressions. And are we teaching good lessons? Justin weighs in with follow-up. My heart still races when I see a cop, which I think everybody's does, ultimately, even if you aren't doing wrong. Just because you don't... I get it. I get it. We'll talk about that. I don't see that as a bad thing. Just made me realize how my actions could get me in trouble. Absolutely. The truth is, I don't ever get, nervous when I see a cop, not even when I'm driving. But if he pulls behind me, then I'm thinking, man, did I do something wrong? Is he checking me for, this, that, or the other? Of course, everybody gets a little nervous when they see a cop get behind them or something while they're driving and that kind of stuff. But I've also grown to learn, because I've had my fair share of tickets of speeding and this, that, and the other as well. I've done that kind of stuff. But I have personally a new self-respect or a new respect for law enforcement. And if I do something wrong, I deserve to get caught. And I'm a firm believer of that. If I'm speeding or if I've done something illegal, I deserve to have an issue or to be ticketed. That's why those are out there. They're there for my safety and for others. And I have to trust the system a bit. Not that the system's always right, but that's the system. Putting kids and subjecting our kids to that system early on, I think, isn't always the best lesson for them. Subjecting them to hard... I'm an adult and have never been fingerprinted or handcuffed in a sense of committing a crime. So with that being the case, even I'm still fearful of that. But to do that to a 6-year-old, a 10-year-old, a 12-year-old, to me, I think is absolutely sending a message that will keep them in the system for years. I don't think this is the way we teach our children. I think scare tactics for our children should not be necessarily done strictly by the police department and teaching them that this is what's going to happen. I believe parents and police officers have to collaborate. I think there's lessons to be learned, but actual full arrest to children who are playing dodgeball games or have a mental condition or have a condition in which they throw a fit or something happens and they, lash out, needs to be teachable lessons, but I don't think it needs to go that far. Justin weighs in again, with this day and age, the kids don't have the same bringing up as I did. Slaps on the wrist don't show the kids a good perspective when they turn 18. Mom don't save kids after 18, just my take. That's true. Things are definitely different now than they used to be. And I do believe we have to make adjustments as parents on to make sure that we're still teaching our kids the lessons that we learned in different ways for ourselves and for them. We must, as parents, do due diligence to make sure our kids know right from wrong. When you arrest that many children, though, I believe that's sending a message in general. And I don't believe that's the right message personally. A 6-year-old doesn't have the mentality of what it is they're doing is a criminal offense. 6-year-olds, 10-year-olds, even 12-year-olds to this day also live off of emotion and live more in a moment than adults do. When an adult does one of these things, they're doing it more than likely consciously knowing that it's wrong. Kids doing something may know that it's wrong, but don't know the total effects of how wrong it is. Not all of them. I'm not giving excuses to kids that are committing grand theft auto and knowing what they're doing. But again, these are cases and scenarios I think, have to look a little deeper on. But there's definitely an issue here. John weighs in, we have to stop trying to be our kids' best friends as they grow and learn. That can be saved to when they are adults. Absolutely. I think one of the things that we've kind of moved into is this customer service best friend relationship with kids, because we don't want to offend them or we want them to be okay with the way things are in society, blah, 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 blah. But I think parenting I think the friendship with your children per se has to take a back seat a little bit to lessons in learning how life should be. There has to be trust there, but at the end of the day, your responsibility is to be a parent. So that way, when your child is as of adult age, they can make the right and good decisions between good and bad. Jared, welcome to the show. So glad you're on. Thanks for being here. We're talking about the news article tonight. Again, nearly 30,000 children under the age of 10 have been arrested in the U.S. since 2013, according to the FBI. These facts are all through abcnews.go.com, in which the news article was posted. In that article, we talked about how 6-year-olds are being arrested. Kids are being treated like mini adults. We talked about how 26,000, almost 27,000 children under the age of 10 have been arrested in the U.S. in that 5-year span. Up that age from 10 to 12 years old, in that age group, almost 230,000 children have been arrested during that same time period of 13 through 17. And then 34 states in the U.S. have no minimum age limit in regards to the age they can arrest. The others have a 10-year-old age limit, which to me, 10-year-old is still pretty young. And then, again, we talked about in that article that somebody got arrested for playing a dodgeball game, throwing a ball at a kid's face, and kids are being handcuffed and fingerprinted, all of that kind of stuff. So to me, these are things that are very, very important to be talking about as adults and as I have children, as parents. These are things we need to think about. Let's go to chat. John weighs in. Or Justin weighs in, a good parallel would be to see what the arrest number is in the adults. I will settle my thoughts as it is a parenting issue. Articles show that this generation has the voice without the back to hold them. Parenting is at fault, in my honest opinion. It's great. I honestly kind of agree with that this is a parenting issue, and that at this point, I also want to put out there that I think kids are a little more daring these days than we used to be. We had a lot more fear of our parents back in the day, I think, in regards to consequences facing them. I think kids have been given a little more of a leniency, I guess, nowadays than they used to back in the day. Well, maybe. Or they're more knowledgeable because information and technology is at their fingertips, that they, have more knowledge of things, or social services, laws, all that kind of stuff. It's a very mixed bag. Kara, thank you so much for being here. She weighs in. Hi, honey. I cannot believe this. It seems insane that a child could be arrested. You and me both. And I actually am thinking of our children and how that's the case. Jared comes in. Thanks for the update. I'm not sure how it needs to be handled because not every situation is the same, which I also agree with. Plus, I would like to get a breakdown of the kids by race and gender, because this is an important component of the discussion, because not all kids are punished the same. And I also agree with that. And before you jumped on, Jared, we did talk about the different numbers that were posted in the story, and I'll go over those again real quick. 23 children under the age of 10 were arrested for rape, very serious offense, 13 for robbery, 52 for arson, and 362 for larceny and theft, including 9 for vehicle theft. And I did mention and bring up, for those who weren't here when I said it, that I'd like to know, like, the areas in which these kids were arrested at, major cities, if these were gang or crime related, what type of crimes and gang related type activity. Kids younger and younger are getting initiated into gangs these days. Who knows what it is they're doing to be initiated? Those things are very real and still out there. So I agree with you. Race, gender, location, all of that plays a factor. Not only that, what you need to do too is I think you need to have a background check in regards to their upbringing. Are they part of the system already in regards to foster care, or they've been in the system for that? You know, what kind of history does that family have in regards to criminal activity or arrest or issues within the household to begin with? So these are all things that definitely play a huge factor in regards to this, which the article didn't necessarily touch on. But the point still being, that is an astronomical number of 26,000 children under the age of 10 in the U.S. in a 5-year span, and over 228,000 10 to 12-year-olds in the same time frame, all being arrested. How is that even possible? And if that's the case, we definitely, I do personally believe there needs to be a deeper look into this in regards to, is this helping or hurting our youth of today? Is it putting them in the system and keeping them there? Is this something that is actually rehabilitating them? Is this something that is working kind of in a sense like it did with Justin in the story he shared about his dad and the police kind of collaborating to teach a lesson? And some of these accusations in regards to, and these reasons these children are being arrested for, are serious crimes. Robbery, rape, arson, and again, arson. If you put a lighter or a set of matches in kids' hands between the ages of 10 and 12 or even younger, what do you expect for them to do? Of course, they're going to set things on fire. Was the arson intentional? Was it in a rundown area in which they found an abandoned home and, were lighting things on fire and caught the house on fire, and now you're arrested for arson? What's the whole breakdown, right? So great points tonight, guys, in regards to all of that. To be honest with you, all of it definitely makes sense. So I want to give you some applause. Thank you so much. Those were some great comments. Go ahead and keep commenting in the system there, because honestly, this is a great topic. Getting some more facts, of course, I think would be definitely helpful in regards to this article, and a little more deeper in-depth look, a little more of a breakdown of general area in which these kids are being arrested and what they're being arrested for, a little more backstory. All of this stuff should be a part of it. But I did find this to be an interesting article, something that I may keep an eye on as we go forward. But the whole 6-year-old thing, again, my youngest daughter is 8. Can't imagine arresting a 6-year-old and what that kind of may cause as a scare thing or a mental tactic or whatever, what kind of damage that may do to a child. The woman on there said that she was trembling and scared and she was being fingerprinted. How far is too far? I guess is really kind of the question, right? Let me know, you guys can keep the conversation going. Keep the conversation going in the chat if you guys like, but definitely that is a major ordeal and something to think about. So it was definitely a good article, and thank you guys so much again for weighing in. I absolutely love it. Make sure you guys keep the conversation going if you like. If you have any other comments or anything, please feel free to leave them in the chat. Or as always, you can leave them on the Facebook page for the Carlock Confessions community to read, continue the conversation with. So, all right. With that being said, let's move on to the next segment of the show that I always like as well. This is a great segment that we'll continue to keep doing. This is the positive personal recap, of course, reflection and positive quote. This is a good section for me. It's a good topic. I love doing this one. I love keeping you guys informed of what's going on in my life and what's been going on around me. This week, of course, again, another busy week with football and the kids in sports. The boys played a great game on Saturday, lost a tough one, but they played really hard. I'm very proud of all of them. My oldest daughter, Riley, is doing a great job in cross country. She's been running her tushy off. So it's always great to see these kids flourish and grow. Coaching has always been a great thing, and I love giving back to the kids that way. So it's definitely been rewarding. It has been a homeowner's nightmare weekend for me. We had our water pump, or our well pump, went out this weekend, so I got to learn how to do some plumbing. So that was fun. I learned how to replace a water pump and some lines, because we had a line blow late on Sunday night as well at our house, which left a mess. And I guess I can add plumber to my resume now, which is good. And I want to give a big thank you out to my father-in-law, who was able to come over and help us fix our pump and line. So if you guys have ever had any issues with that, or if you guys are master plumbers yourselves, please feel free to let me know. It was definitely a interesting thing to do. It was a challenging job. We did get it fixed. So the new pump is in. We got a couple of new lines ran in the house, which was interesting and always challenging, but that has all been complete, and I am grateful that I was capable of doing it and getting that done. So I will go ahead and add this quote, which I found, which kind of plays off of all this, and let me know what you guys think of this quote. It is a good one, and it kind of plays into this, but the quote is, "Appreciate life as it happens. Moments will soon pass, and you will wish you had treasured them more." And I don't know who said that. I found it online, but I thought, even the bad stuff, you have to appreciate life as it happens. And as stressful as it was trying to make the house repairs and dealing with pipes bursting and the water pump going out and the cost and financial responsibility and home ownership as it is, you have to appreciate life as it happens. Moments will soon pass, and you will wish you had treasured them more. That goes for us in our children's lives as they grow up, as sports things come and go, as birthdays come to pass. Everything in our lives, we need to make sure that we're not taking for granted, and that we appreciate life as it happens, because it does go very quickly. So that's the positive quote for the week. I love it. Appreciate life as it happens. Moments will soon pass, and you will wish you had treasured them more. So that was my quote. Let me know if you guys like that one. If you do, go ahead and throw a thumbs up in the chat. Hit that like button for me. And as well, as we're getting towards the wrap of the show, if you guys can share this real quick as well, see if we can get a couple more people on before the show ends, that'd be greatly appreciated. Love to continue to grow the Car Lot Confessions community. But let me know what you guys think of that quote. I thought it was a good one. It really played factor into this past weekend and just everything that's going on in my life, which is always busy but much appreciated. And let me know what you guys think. Do you guys like this personal recap and reflection of the week that I tell you guys? I don't mind going ahead and putting my life out there to share with you guys here at Car Lot Confessions. If you guys like it, let me know. If you guys think, this is boring, let me know that too, and we can always come up with something else. But it is one of the sections that I like, and hopefully you guys do too. All righty, guys. So that's the personal recap. Now comes to one of my favorite segments of the show that is new. It is the shout-out section of Car Lot Confessions. It is time for our shout-outs. If you guys have a shout-out too as well, if you'd like to give, go ahead and make sure you guys put that in chat right now. I will make sure to go ahead and read that during our shout-out time here. So start thinking about your shout-outs, because I'm going to read them, but I'm going to start with mine. All right, so shout-outs for this week. First off, as I always do as of recent, I want to shout out my Detroit Lions for playing a fantastic game against the Kansas City Chiefs. I believe, in my opinion, it was the best game I have seen in probably the last 20 years in Lions history. They played the Chiefs. It was a great game, gave them a huge run for the money. Chiefs were one of the top picks to go to the Super Bowl this year, and to see them play that hard and play that well, even coming out with a loss in the column, was still a win for me. So if you guys caught that game, it was a really great game. So same with, and Justin puts in there, go Hawks. I will give them a shout out as well. I am a big Hawks fan as well, so great job. Go to the Hawks as well. Let's see here. Next shout out, of course, I want to give a huge birthday shout out to my niece, Peyton. Happy birthday, Peyton, from Car Lot Confessions and your Uncle Tank and your Aunt Ray. We are so proud of you, and congratulations, and happy birthday to you, Peyton. That is my only birthday that I have this week, but if you guys have any out there, please put them in the chat, and we'll throw them out for our shout outs while we're doing them. I also want to shout out my father-in-law again real quick. Thank you again for all the help in the plumbing issues that I had around the house. We're there to help and fix things and make things work out. So thank you so much. Big shout out to him. And then, of course, any shout outs that you guys have, let me know. Let's see if you guys have any shout outs. John says, second, go Hawks. And happy birthday as well. There, everybody shouting out Peyton as well. Happy birthday. Thank you so much, guys. Yes, happy birthday, Peyton. That's any more shout outs that you guys have, go ahead and throw them in the chat real quick. Oh, awesome. I'm so glad she was able to see and hear that. We are so proud of you, Peyton. Happy birthday, my dear. And congratulations on everything that you're doing. We're so proud of you. Big shout out to you. Shout out to you guys as well, as always. Huge shout out to the Car Lot Confessions community. So glad you guys are here. Thank you so much again for all the support that you guys give every single week and the love that you guys share. This is why I love this show so much, and I'm so glad you guys are here to share it with me. If you guys could as well in the same time, share this with the people that you care about and that are part of your Facebook page by just sharing this video. Let's see if we can get everybody together, make this community bigger, and see if we can get more people to join the Car Lot Confessions community. So if you guys could share this for me, I'd greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much. And that is our shout-out section. We'll do one quick look. We have a happy 28th birthday to Elizabeth. Happy birthday. Shout out to you, Elizabeth. That comes from Diane. Thank you so much. Happy birthday, Peyton, from Jared. Thank you. And happy birthday to Liz from Ray. Happy birthday, guys. Thank you so much. All righty, guys. That is the shout-out section. And, of course, as always, you guys are welcome to continue to do shout-outs on the Facebook page or here in our chat as well. You guys can do that. Continue to do shout-outs. It is one of my favorite new segments of the show. I think it's a pretty good one. We should always recognize the successes of our community, the people that support this show, and the people around us, because it is those people and those things that keep us going and the positives in our lives. So thank you so much, as always. Again, continue with shout-outs. If you guys have any shout-outs that you'd like to have me read off prior to the show coming up, feel free to send those to me as well through Facebook or through YouTube. And I'll be happy to make sure they get onto a live episode of the next live episode of Car Lot Confessions. And we'll go ahead and make sure that they're on there. Get that shout out. As always as well, if you guys have any articles or things that you guys want to discuss or things that you think that should be brought to the Car Lot Confessions community, please make sure you guys go ahead and send me those things through a message or through a private message, or even just post them right on the Facebook page or on the YouTube discussion area. And we'll go ahead and make sure that stuff comes up. Again, guys, this is a show for you, by you. It's just hosted by me. I'm bringing it to you for you guys. So hopefully you guys are enjoying it. So thank you so much, guys, for being here. Real quick, we're going to be wrapping up the show here. But real quick, as always, blood is still needed in the state of Michigan. So that is still in an emergency situation. So if you guys can go ahead and give blood, it doesn't necessarily have to even be here in Michigan. Blood is one of the easiest ways that you can give back. Be the change and save some lives. So if you guys get an opportunity, please donate blood. It is an easy way to really give back. So thank you so much in regards to that. Hi, Pam. Don't worry about being late. There will always be the episode will continue to run on Facebook as it always does. And you can always catch it on YouTube as well. So thank you so much for being here, though. Always happy that when you guys can come. It's been a great show tonight, guys. Let's go ahead and do a quick recap of everything, if you guys like. I like doing the recap of the show. We had our poll question from last week we talked about. It was tacos or pizza. Pizza actually won, which I thought was interesting because I'm a taco guy. 53-47. We had 15 votes on that. We got the new poll up as well. The new poll is in regards to the late night battles in regards to the shows. If you like the Tonight Show or the Late Show with Stephen Colbert or Jimmy Fallon. I'm a Jimmy Fallon guy. The reason why I brought that up was the Tonight Show started airing with Johnny Carson. It debuted in 1962 on this day, October 1st. So I brought that up as well. We had Grinds My Gears. We talked about hospitals that look at the elderly like they aren't worth saving. My grandmother is out of the hospital now, which is thankful. She's on her way to recovery, which is so great. But that was something that grinded my gears. We talked about the news article and kids getting arrested at young ages, and we talked about that, which I thought was a great discussion. definitely I think is something that we can bring up again going forward as it continues to develop. There's a lot of factors there that we could always talk about, but it is important to talk about our youth. And then, of course, we had our shout-outs, which we just did, and we're recapping the show now. Let's finish up with what's going on here in chat. The last few things we'll read. Jared says he had to reschedule the blood drive until next week. He had a work assignment. Not a problem, Jared. No one's ever going to question your commitment. Over 6 gallons given by Jared, plus more, and he continues to donate. So thank you so much for all that you give back. Way to be the change. Jared weighs in. Fallon kills it. I totally agree. I'm a big Fallon fan, so go ahead and make sure you go ahead and put that and weigh in on the poll for me this week. We'll go ahead and recap that next week as we always do. Justin says, great show, bud. See you next week. Always something to look forward to, and I agree. Thank you, Justin, for your continued support, and all of you for being here. Let's see. Kara going ahead and complimenting and congratulating Jared on all the blood donations that he has done so far. He is definitely amazing. Thank you. And anybody who gives, thank you so much for doing so. But, guys, thank you so much for being here tonight. It's been a great show. I'm so appreciative and thankful for you guys. Big shout out to the Car Lot Confessions community. Either here you're on time or you're not. Turn your notifications on. Make sure you guys know every time we go live. Make sure you guys like the show, follow the page, and share it for me so we can continue to grow. And guys, thank you so much for being here. Another great show. I can't wait for next week already. Can't wait to see you guys next Tuesday. And as always, guys, remember to be the change. Thank you so much. You guys have a great evening. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.